I am the Headless Headhunter, a corporate recruiter here to help you get ahead of your job search by reviewing your resumes. And the first resume we have up is a mechanical engineer intern. The keywords for this were actually pretty easy. Almost every single job description had these keywords. So what we're going to be looking for is your education, internship specifically. They want to make sure you're still enrolled in school. CAD, AutoCAD, both work. Ideally, if you could put both in, but either one is fine. SolidWorks, 2D, 3D, FEA, designing, modeling, simulations, and testing. And here is arguably very important, which a lot of interns miss, is taking criticism and can work in a team. Specifically not leading. A lot of interns try to say, like, I led this, I led that. And we don't really care about interns leading stuff, unless it's like a master's or doctorate one, or some stuff in the financial space. We want to know that you can work as a team, get told what to do, and not freak out, and just be nice to be around. There are a couple of people that sometimes they get told, hey, that's not really how you should do that, and then they freak out, flip the table, and run off. And we want to make sure that it's not there, so we want to see a bullet point about it. MS Office, there were a lot of job descriptions at MS Office, and if it's in the job description, it needs to be in your resume. So MS Office, Word, Excel, Outlook, and Teams. And a bonus point is sort of like the type of mechanical engineer you are. So like if you work on engines, if you work on brake systems, if you work on cyborgs, whatever, but it's not as important. The rest of it is more important. So before you do that, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And I find these keywords, and this is where I help people live on my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. PST till about 2 o'clock at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. So let's see why this person is not getting a lot of interviews. And they're not, because their ratio is 100 to 1, which is 100 applications to 1 interview, which is not good. For interns specifically, a 1 to 75 is a C-. That is ideally the minimum amount of applications to interviews you should get. Hopefully we can get you more than that, but internships are very competitive. For everybody else, there's MasterCard? No. So, there's 1 to 50 is average, but interns, they got to move that up a little bit because it's really hard. So they had a single internship, and then they moved, and they can't find any other interns. So let's see, do they have these keywords? Your formatting is off. It's not the worst. I want to be clear. This is not like an immediate rejection because of bad formatting, but the worse your formatting, the harder it is for me to find these, and the harder it is for me to find these, the higher likelihood of you getting rejected. So you should put your resume like this, first, last name, phone number, blah, 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 then education and certificates. So your education should be up top. That is especially in an intern. People keep fighting me on that. You need your education up at the top. This shouldn't be bolded, and nothing here should be bolded. And you should not have this little teeny line. But other than that, that's kind of the issues of the formatting. So maintain and paint manufacturing lines by monitoring, tracking, filling data, addressing faults, and communicating with operators, reporting, filing data, pros to prove OOE. Well, I don't care about that. That's not what I care about. And the funny thing is, here you could actually have a phenomenal part about just putting in Word and Excel. Is just filled out Excel data sheets and sent them using PDFs or Outlook. That's all you really need to write about Excel, Word, and PDF. Like, you don't have to say, like, I'm the best Excel worder ever. You just need to show that you've used them. But there's also nothing here that I would really care about. Here it is, developed Excel reporting. Perfect. That's actually really good that you have that. Utilizing Power Query, micro button coding, JavaScript, Visual Basic. I don't care about that unless you're doing like embedded stuff. Yeah, so modeled electric drawings, plan safety, layout, and renovation projects in AutoCAD. AutoCAD is good. Improved Cognics Insight training lines, don't care. Wrote multiple SOPs, don't really care. Fixed HMI alarm arrows, so no. So the biggest problem with this is you do have a couple of keywords, which is good, but you don't need all of these. I want to be clear. People think like, oh, if you don't have every single keyword, you're going to get rejected. That's absolutely not the case. You only need about 75%. 75% is about the break point of if a candidate has enough of those, they will move them forward. You really don't need 100%. It's really 75%. That's about it. It's just most candidates don't put those in their resume. So my problem with this is, while you do have a couple of good keywords, you have AutoCAD, you have Excel, you have a bunch of other stuff I don't really care about. And it's here. So the first thing is, I need to know a little bit about how you did the mechanical part of maintaining the paint lines. So that's a little bit of the industry stuff, but there's a lot of stuff here I don't care about, right? Like, I don't care about Power Query. I don't care about macro buttons coded in JavaScript and Visual Basic, unless you're doing like an embedded thing, but I don't think you were. This is okay, but plant safety layout and renovation projects. But what is improved Cognex Insight Vision training model to recognize faulty buckets? Like, I don't really care about that. Like, if you really look at the job description for the vast majority of internships, it's this. And one of the things I am missing is how you worked as a team. Collaborated with other interns. Okay, here it is. Is this to design? No. You can't just say collaborated. What does collaborated mean? Did that mean you said hi to them and then you worked on your own work solo? I need to know how you took criticism. I need to know how you were told you were wrong and didn't freak out. That's a huge thing for an intern. Like, seriously, it's a huge thing for an intern. And there's too many extraneous keywords, especially when you get mechanical engineering and IT resumes. If you have too much keywords in it that are not actually the keywords, they're just a bunch of like things you did, it's hard to find this stuff. So you need to simplify your resume, simplify the formatting, add the stuff I actually care about. You do have Excel, like I said, you have AutoCAD, but I need a little bit more. I need SolidWorks. I need to see a little bit more. Modeling is here, modeled is okay, but I need to know a little bit more, and I need you to take out some of this other stuff. And please, if you're an intern, I cannot stress enough this. Adding a bullet point about how you took direction and criticism and worked with the team could alone get you a position. Really need that. Like, I don't want to see here, you said collaborated with senior leadership. I don't want to see collaborated with. What does collaborated mean? I feel like I could ask that question and get 20 different answers. I need to know specifically how you got criticism, how you handled it, and how you worked with others. Did you go to weekly stand-ups where your direct manager would tell you improvements on your code for next week, or whatever the equivalent would be for mechanical engineers? So, is this the worst resume ever? No. This would be the equivalent of a D- resume. The fact that it's 100 to 1 is not good, but it is an intern, and 75 to 1 is our minimum. So if you fix the formatting, if you just fix the formatting alone and take out a couple of the extraneous things, you probably will get like a 1 in 60. But if you fix those, add a little bit more, add about how you took criticism, it's so huge for internships. You will get even more. So again, not like the worst resume ever. I don't want people to think, it's garbage, grr, recruiter hate. But it definitely could do a lot of improvements, because the most important part of your resume is here. This first half of your first page is the most important part. So fix the formatting, education goes up top, then you can do this experience, and then in the experience, simplify it a little bit, add some of the keywords. Seriously, look at the job descriptions. They don't say all of this stuff. So, because that's what we really care about. And let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a machine learning software engineer. This person has sent over 200 job applications and not gotten anything back. So I'm assuming something is wrong with the resume, which I want to be clear, every advice I give, there could always be like an exception depending on the industry. The one advice that is if you don't do this, you will not get interviews that I can think of across every industry, every experience level, is double check your email and phone number for the love of all that is holy. There is a lot of cases where I've seen a fantastic resume that I'm like, we need to interview them for the company immediately. The manager's going to love them. And I call them and it goes straight to voicemail, and the voicemail is full. So I send them an email and the email bounces. And if you cannot get a hold of them, then it doesn't matter how good your resume is. So that is the most important thing. I'm doing this as a PSA. Everybody please check that. Have a friend try to call it just in case. Just the number there. You never know. A single typo there could spell doom across everything. So, but assuming that's not the issue, what we're going to be looking for in a machine learning software engineer, specifically a full-time job, not a machine learning intern. Again, the resume that gets you an internship is probably not going to get you a full-time position. They are two different resumes. Is your degree. The words ML could also be fully out as machine learning. LLM, large language models. NLP, which I forgot what the NLP stand for. I did a role for that too, and I don't remember. AI, Python, CAD, CFD, FEA, SQL, Cloud, Git, Why did I keep having Git, not GLT, GIT, CI/CD, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Learn, Pandas, NumPy, Keras. I hate IT terms. Customer-facing stakeholder clients. Basically, they want to make sure that you can talk to people and model performance. So, do you need all of those? No. A common misconception, again, is that you need every single keyword to get a job, that we're hypercritical, and if you're missing a single one, we're rejecting you. Realistically, if you have 75%, we'll move you forward. Honestly, some roles, 50%. It's just about 1 in 15 resumes will not contain 50% of these. That is across most industries, that is how many resumes do not have what we're actually looking for. So, all right, relevant courses. This is nice, but ironically not relevant. Company 1. Okay, your formatting is off. You want to use this formatting. It's down below. You can also check it out on my website, but this is the formatting that you would want to use. And I just now remembered I need to respond to an email after this that I forgot about. Anyway, internship. Okay, so formatting is awful, but whatever. Conducted interviews with high-profile individuals, including a Forge featured executive. How is that related to anything involving ML? Gathered client information through customer service interactions to support outreach initiatives. This is actually a good bullet point because, again, for ML software engineers, you will be interfacing with people that don't know what you do, and they want to make sure that you can actually interact with them. But maintain an updated data in Excel. Okay, I mean, that's okay, but ironically, I know Excel is in almost everything, including, I think, like the resume before this or the one before that, but I don't think that's an actual keyword for machine learning engineer. So the biggest problem is there's nothing really here relevant. I don't know what this, anything about how this relates to machine learning. So that's kind of a problem. Named entity, what the heck? Okay, utilized Python, just say used. I hate how everybody says utilized. That's just a personal gripe. I'm not going to like reject somebody by saying utilized, but it reads weird. You want to make your resume boring. Used Python scripts to filter and extract raw HTML, XML data and company statute. So you do have Python, but applied to several SPACY. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Custom pipelines for tricky named entity, blah, blah, blah. Okay, don't care. Built-in end-to-end horse using kilobytes of data for Derby's BERT log. So here's the biggest issue here is I can go all the way down here and I don't even see anything about it, machine learning, yet alone AI. I only found 2 bullet points I'm looking for, which is the customer facing and Python and nothing else. Again, relevant courses don't matter. You need to show me how and why you used those keywords. There are some industries where this could matter. This is not one of them. Developed an app using Node PostSQL. This one's okay-ish, but again, I'm not really looking for Node and PostgreSQL in this. This is that'd be a different type of IT person or software developer and REST APIs. Yeah, so there's like nothing here. This. I'm not here to lambast you. I'm not here to make fun of you. I want to be very clear. This is for everybody else watching. This is the amount of keywords that most resumes contain. I need 50% to move forward. And again, it has to be in a bullet point under a project, an internship, or work experience. This is why most resumes, about 1 in 15, are the only ones that we can find anything on. This is what I'm looking for. And you can look for machine learning positions. Like, yeah, they may not have all of these, but they're going to have 75% of these. And I don't see any of this. I don't see anything about machine learning besides the relevant course, which, again, those don't count because you have to show how and why you did it. I know it's weird, but unfortunately, that's just the truth of the matter. I don't have a good answer to that, but it doesn't count if you did it in college because they assumed that everybody with that degree has done that, even if you took a course on it. Now, if you did maybe like a capstone course and it got like something else with it, like a widespread praise, that's good, but then you can put it under projects. So I barely see anything. I saw like 2 things I need from this. So, unfortunately, this would definitely be a no. And that's why you're having no luck. That's why there's 200 applications and then nothing, is because I need this stuff. I cannot move you forward. I don't care if it's assumed that everybody has it. I cannot move you forward without it. Because I have. I have made the mistake of putting people forward like, oh, it's clear. They have this, obviously. And then they didn't, and I got made fun of by the manager, rightfully so. And that looked bad on me. So we need this stuff in the resume. You need this stuff. And yeah, maybe you don't have all of it. That's okay. You need 75%. Seriously, look at the job descriptions. Actually look at what it says in qualifies. or need to have or must have, and they will show you this stuff, and it's gonna be close to this, and that's what we need. So this is why you're not having any luck, because again, you can't just say Python, you have to say how. And the bigger issue with this is I don't see how any of this is machine learning. Maybe if I was a software developer and I could code, I'd be like, oh yeah, clearly the XML data is machine learning, but I don't know that. The people reading your resume don't know that, and the people that are hiring you may not know that either. So again, I'm not here to like make fun of you. I just want to make sure this is harsh so that you know, so that you can fix it, so that you can get a job, because it really does stink to not have a job. Like, yeah. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume review of a embedded software engineer intern, specifically intern. There we go. All right, so it's an intern. That is going to matter a lot. So this person, we don't know their ratio. They said they've only applied to about 10 to 15 internships, so they don't have much data. Said about 80% of those have been embedded. The others have been firmware and backend. So that's probably not going to be enough. Internships are really competitive. Unfortunately, I will be perfectly honest. Sometimes it's harder, I think, to get an internship than to get your first job. But yeah, so you're going to need to apply to a lot more than 10 to 15. But let's review this resume, see what we can do to make it so you don't have to apply to as many jobs, so that you can get an internship. So for an intern, as per usual, we're really going to look with the ability to work well with others, that you can take direction and criticism, and then I'm going to add the ability to multitask. That's probably going to be on there too. For embedded software engineers specifically, you are going to want Python, C, C++, Linux, RTOS, with I would say RTOS being slightly more common than Linux, but both is good. We want to see your education, and this was in a requirement for internships for an embedded software engineer, which was MS Office Suites. I think if you have MS Office Suites, you qualify for about 70% of the non-STEM jobs and about 25% of STEM jobs. It is shocking how evergreen that skill is, and nobody puts it in their resume because nobody thinks it's important. Seriously, if you could just put MS Office in your resume as a keyword and then how you used it and why, you will immediately increase the amount of interviews you get. It's shocking how common and useful it is to put in. So let's review this resume. Formatting is not great, but not the worst. So there's just too many boldings. Ideally, I want it to look like this. So there's no color. It's just black and white, no blue. This should be one line. Let's see, underrated work in Autodesk Unit IoT technologies. Okay, you can do 2 lines. 2 lines should contain all of this, with 1 line being this, and then the 2 lines being that. So, actually, wait, you've already graduated with a bachelor's in computer science? If that's the case, it should be 3 lines. So you want to break down the master's, and then the expected graduation, and then the bachelor's, unless you are getting a bachelor's and master's at the same time in May 2026. That's a little confusing. So if you've already gotten your bachelor's, 3 lines, 1 with the master's and expected, then the next with the bachelor's, and then the robotics club, because, you know, some people may like that. Nothing here should be bolded, but let's see if the actual keywords are okay. Migrate and develop a large-scale latency critical application to support a new relation SQL, improving query testing. That's not anything I was looking for. Integrated backend APIs. APIs could be for software engineer, but not necessarily embedded. Used agile. Again, this is nothing I would be looking for. So when we're going for internships, people get a weird idea of what you should and should not do. At a basic level, internships, like everybody writes leadership stuff on internships. And I'm like, we don't care that you're leading as an intern. The point of an intern is to follow directions and not be rude when they tell you that you're doing something wrong. So there's nothing in these that I would look for. Maybe there's something in the other one, but internships are highly competitive. So design and implemented automation regeneration of auto captioning. I don't care about that. For Google's Drive team, I mean, the fact that you mentioned Google could be a huge plus. See, this alone might be good, is the fact that it was part of Google's, because people like Google. Wrote unit integration, deployment, improve system reliability, don't care. Document code and utilize this coding, don't care. Wrote scripts to optimize clients. Optimize clients and fix bugs. Yeah, again, don't care. Repair customers' laptops, IT because there's a problem. So here, weirdly enough, out of all of this, this is one of your best intern. This is one of the best things for an intern is problem solved and troubleshooted thousands of customer devices in a fast-paced environment. That alone is actually huge. That is arguably more important than half of this. You still want to keep your internships because internships like seeing other internships, but this bullet point alone is massive. I just the fact that you can deal with troubleshooting customers, repairing them is really big. But I'm not really even seeing any of the keywords I need for embedded, which is what you specifically said. Software engineer would be a little bit different, in which case we'd want like a primary language like, well, Python, Java, C, TypeScript, etc. But so this is not a great resume, but this, weirdly enough, might save it if they could go down to it. And the fact that you were a Google software engineer. So you might not need anything else. I'll be perfectly frank. The more thing is like you've interned at Google. They love that. But the bullet points are bad, but you were being very much held up by the fact that you have interviewed at Google and you have this one down here. So you want to redo these bullet points, but you definitely want to show that it was Google. We want to see something like, used Python, C, and Linux to create X and Y. All right, and then took direction from managers where we did weekly feedback sessions of doing X and Y. But yeah, so that's kind of all I can really say on it. I would say if you did not have the fact of previously going on Google, it would actually be kind of tough to get interviews. But again, this, weirdly enough, is one of the biggest things they'd be looking for all the way down there. So fix the formatting, fix these bullet points in particular. I would say move this up to here because that's pretty big, and then we want to show that first. And you will probably get even more interviews. Although I imagine that as you have you've done stuff at Google, you're probably going to get a lot regardless. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software engineer. We don't know the ratio because they haven't started applying using it. This is so what we're going to be looking for as per usual, because like there's usually a full stack in every video. Is TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node, Angular, Next.js, MongoDB, SQL, React.js, API, REST, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, and bonus points for architecture, extra languages, and Git. So let's see this. So formatting-wise is solid. Yeah, formatting-wise is close to what I have, which is basically what I have. This is what I have. Good. So, computer science is fine. Software and operations specialist. Okay, that's a weird title. Developed internal web applications using JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Good. Automate progress note generation and review, improving efficiency for 50+ providers. Here's the part. Every single person says improving efficiency, and that's not a good thing to say. Because, like, what did you mean by that? So you don't actually need this section. You can say automate progress note generation and review for our 50+ providers. You don't have to say improving efficiency. You can just say for our 50+ providers. What I would like, and do I see this, is like this is where you can also put in cloud in a cloud environment or something, then put AWS, but otherwise that's good. Ideally, I would like TypeScript as well. Built AI-powered tools and custom Excel macros using Python and VBA. So here's the kind of thing is, this is one of the few cases where Excel doesn't matter. I know every other resume, it's like Excel matters, but specifically for software engineering, this one, I don't really care that you've used Excel. AI tools is kind of nice. So Python is good. So ideally what I have is I would sort of bunch that together with this. It's like developed internal web applications using Python, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. VBA could be, but I haven't seen that be used in a bit. So maintained IT infrastructure and collaboration. I don't like the word, like, how did you maintain it though? That's what I really care about. With clinical and administrative workflow improvement. That's okay, but again, cross-functional. So supported insurance billing. So here's, remember, what I'm going to be looking for is about 75% of this. With the, where is the SQL, which is what I do want to see. I do want to see cloud if you have it. I know not everybody has cloud, but it's a giant plus. Where's API? Where's REST? So it's also possible that you didn't do that here, because a software and operations specialist is a nonsense title. you are able to change your job title. I want to be clear. The way you do it is you change it to something that makes the most sense for what you did. If you were a full stack dev, then you put full stack. If you were back end, you put back end. And what happens is during the interview, you say, if you can say with utmost confidence and truth, my official title was Software and Operations Specialist. That was the internal title, but externally, and even my boss and a couple of other people just called us a full stack dev. So I just put that there. That's okay. People are not going to get mad at that. As long as it's actually true. Like if you were like a recruiter and you're like, yeah, you know, I put full stack developer when you only inputted a copy paste command on an Excel sheet, then you're lying. But as long as you can say that in an interview with confidence, that's okay, because there are internal company titles do not necessarily always imply external company titles. Sometimes they are very different. And I personally have posted jobs with an external title that was different than an internal title. And I just told the candidate that during the interview. I said, your official title is blank, but honestly, that everybody just calls you a Y. So, developed a full stack wellness web app using Python. Good. Streamlit. Don't care. Integrating OpenAI. It's a bonus, but not necessary. OpenWeather's API. I don't need to know OpenWeather. I just need to know API. To generate personalized weather workout-based device. So yeah, you have a couple of extra stuff here. Architected a scalable backend good with BigQuery. I don't think I care about BigQuery on Google Cloud Platform, GCP. That is good. To manage user workouts, posts, and activities. Implemented CI using GCP tools. And okay, so yeah, these are good. I think the order of these is a little bit off. So I am missing TypeScript. I think what you really should do is probably A, change the title, and B, just have this be a single line. Normally you want a minimum of 3, but in this thing you could just say professional experience, developed internal web applications using JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and Python, because it doesn't look like you have any other relevant experience there. And then that'll be it for that. And then you can move directly into your projects where you actually have some really good stuff, where you kind of want to showcase the cloud real early in the first sentence, because that's going to be important. And then I am missing TypeScript, but the rest of this I think I actually find. So is this a bad resume? No, I think it's just you have too much here. I know that has Python, but that's the only other keyword I care about. So basically we need to have more of the keywords up front. You have a couple of extra stuff that I don't care about, but overall the formatting is fine. I just want to give you the best chance you can. And you really want to showcase the cloud earlier, because the cloud is pretty big. It's a big bonus to have that. So that's it for this review. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a product director. So this was kind of hard to find keywords for, because there are a lot of different industries with this title, and I will be honest, I'm not sure if these are 100% correct, but considering the formatting on this, this may be more of a formatting thing. So what we're looking for is essentially leading cross-functional teams, how you led, and the details of it, that you can inspire, mentor, develop high-performing teams, B2B, more specifically industry, and what you did, how you did it, the details, and the volume and the cost. So first off, you never want to use 2 columns. This is a nightmare to read. So if this was a singular resume, this wouldn't be a problem, because then you could look at key achievements and then you could look at languages, but it's never just a single resume. Recruiters are looking at an average of maybe 50 to 100 resumes in an hour, and we have 15 seconds to look at each resume. The rest of those seconds, because that does not add up to an hour, is essentially dispositioning people, moving them forward and doing other stuff in the system. So we have 15 seconds to find this stuff, which I'm probably not going to be able to find. So please use a very boring and basic format. That is what you want. This is why it's boring. This is why it's basic, is it's easier to read, which is what we actually really care about. So strategic leader with driving products, scalable solutions, blah, blah, blah. I mean, so directors can get away with summaries, except this is not a good summary. And I know I'm actually hunting for, as we speak of this, a director for a role. So I know exactly kind of what I'm looking for in that. We want it to be very brief. The summary is going to be maybe 2 to 3 bullet points at the very top, and it's going to get an overall summary of your duties and maybe a brag, which again, directors can do a little bit of brags. So what we want to see is essentially like the industry you're in, because I don't know what the chemoxin is. What is a chem information I don't know what a chem informatics software company is. If you're applying for a, like, say, software role, they may not know that is like a SaaS, I guess. I still don't know. So you really want a very brief 3 bullet points, and this is only for high-level managers and directors. Everybody else, don't use a summary. Basically, your industry and how you succeeded, then sort of the nuts and bolts about, like, you know, I managed 13 products on a budget of X and Y with 25 direct reports, etc., etc. And then the third can usually be sort of like it depends on what the role is going to be, but that's a little bit more like industry based as well. So this is always good to have. So this is good to have the languages, but again, you can just fit them right here. Let's see, skills, certs. Oh my gosh, I don't even know. PMP. You have a PMP shirt and you put it at the bottom. I don't know if that's as important for product directors, but that's at least huge. So yeah, your everything is all off here. So cross-functional leadership of 25 product managers and an extended team of 100. That's good, but I don't know what you do. I don't know your industry. I don't know what chem informatics is. I am hunting a role that could be similar. Now, I don't believe that you are what maybe we'd be looking for based on that, but you would need to tell me, because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe chem informatics is exactly what I'm looking for, but I don't know. P&L responsibility over 25. This is actually good. People like P&L. P&L is good to include. Responsibilities over 25 annual digital product portfolio, introduced and oversaw road mapping framework, deliver. This stuff I don't really care about as much. Let's see. Yeah, you have a ratio of 100 to 1. So this is getting 100 applications in one interview, which is extra bad for director levels because there's less roles to go around. Ideally, for director level, you probably want like 1 in 30. 1 in 35 is going to be a C minus. So lead the development of market to overseeing cross-functional alignment. Cross-functional is good. Develop and shape strategic product to enter the biomolecule. Yeah, maybe this is a role I'd be looking for. I don't even know anymore. Led an end-to-end API. No one's going to give you this much. A directed cross-agile organization managing a 9-product SaaS. So, like, I don't understand. So here's kind of the issue with this. Is, are you in, like, pharmaceuticals? Or are you in actual, like, SaaS with, computer stuff? Because I don't know, and you're not telling me. And you need to be very, very specific. So, in addition, while P&L is a good one to have, I don't know, like, the details of your team. This part is okay, but the rest of it it's just not enough. You need to be very specific. Let an end-to-end API redesign. Okay, so you are in software. Implemented in early access, validated. Okay, yeah, so it's not... You need to be very specific. You need to be easy to read. And I need a little bit more. I don't actually know your teams if you develop, because for product directors, I kind of need to know, like, how you developed the team. How many people did you hire? And you could do it here, like cross-functional leadership of 25, but like you could say, like, started with 3 employees and hired and scaled our business up to 20 million employees, which involved 25 product managers, cross-functionally an extended team of 100. So I need more details. And unfortunately, you have said a lot of stuff, but not a lot of it is details. There's like 1 or 2 good bullet points, which is why you're getting 1 to 100, but most of these are bad. So you really need to focus. Please focus on what you're actually going to, like, do. You need to make it more clear and pretend I don't know anything about your industry. And I need more details, specifically for, well, most resumes I need more details, but specifically for director level roles, I need to know the nuts and bolts of what you did. I need to know the specifics. I need to know the budgets, because a lot of companies are going to vary based on that information. So could I move this forward? Probably not. I'm thinking even if this was in the industry that I would be recruiting for my particular role, but that's a separate topic. So, but yeah, you just don't tell me enough stuff and you've wasted a lot of space. So keep the formatting basic, keep it simple. You have the languages up top, then under that you can have 3 brief bullet points max of your summaries, but it's got to be the nuts and bolts of what you did, the industry specifics, and then a singular quick brag. So if everybody likes this stuff, please like, comment, and subscribe. Leave me a comment if you have any other questions. I try to answer them when I can. And if you need more help, stop by my live stream. It's at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. That's where I do these and I find the keywords. And I will see you all on the next video.